is the Whisper Corner. A few weeks ago, I was watching England struggle against Andorra, and I thought to myself, I wonder have Andorra ever scored 100 goals in total? And they haven't. But I came up with the idea of making a video of how long it's been for certain countries to reach 100 goals. And Russia would have been top 5, except for the fact that since the war in Ukraine, all of their games have been friendlies, and I don't think that really counts. Because whenever you beat Brunei 11-0, yeah, it's not really a real game. So, the worst team, now you might say, where's Serbia, where's Bosnia, or places like this? I didn't do every country. I did a hodgepodge from around the world. But the worst team that in my list, quite embarrassingly, is Ireland. If you've seen what Ireland's form has been like recently, you wouldn't be surprised. It took them 95 games since the 13th of October. Sorry. This is what happens when you put Russia in the list. You decide to change it. 95 games since the 27th of April 2016. It's taken 9 years. And their biggest win has been 4-0. And they've done that 3 times against Oman, Qatar, and the might of Gibraltar. The second worst team is our country, is Northern Ireland. It's taken them 92 games since the 28th of March 2016, and their biggest win was 5-0 against Bulgaria. Third worst, Wales. In 83 games, going back from the 6th of October 2017, and their biggest win was 6-0 against China. I think Bale got a first half hat-trick there. 29th place is Hungary. Which took them 75 games, going back to the 11th of September 2018. Their biggest wins were 4-0 against the might of San Marino, who you will see a lot in this list, and the only time by England. 28th is my exact words to myself when I picked this next team were, they're good, they'll have scored lots of goals. Uruguay. '74 games, going back to the 25th of March 2019. Their biggest wins being 5-0 versus Panama and Bolivia. 27th is Colombia. It took them 73 games, going back to the 15th of June 2019, and their biggest win was 5-0, also against Panama. Next up is to continue how poor the UK are. We have Scotland. Took them 71 games, going back to the 20th of November 2018, and their biggest win was 6-0 against San Marino. 25th is Mexico. Now, I know the Gold Cup is on at the minute. This list was made out a few days ago before it started. So for them it was 70 goals, 70 games, going back to the 3rd of September 2021. And their biggest win was 4-0 versus Honduras. And weirdly, for a team from such a far distance away, Iraq. 24th in the list is Egypt. He took 62 games, going back to the 7th of November 2019, and their biggest win was 6-0 versus Djibouti. Next up we have Poland. Who took 61 games, going back to the 7th of October 2020, and their biggest win was 7-1 against San Marino. Second place, again, this is before their 5-0 win the other night in the Gold Cup. We have the USA, who took 59 games since the 14th of October 2021, and their biggest win was 7-1 versus Grenada. Or is it Grenada? Who knows? 21st place we have Italy, who took 58 games, going back to the 25th of March 2021, whose biggest win was 7-0 versus San Marino. Just to say that our countries had the same number of games, I've given the preferential treatment to whichever country did it with the biggest win. In 20th place is Croatia, Also in 58, going back to the 27th of March 2021, bunch of games the same week, and their biggest win was 7-0 versus Gibraltar. And in this case, I think Croatia came first because Gibraltar are higher in the world rankings. There is thought behind this. 19. We have Austria, who did it in 57 games, going back to the 11th of November 2020, and their biggest win was 6-1 versus Turkey. 18th place is Switzerland, who did it in 57 as well, going back to 31st of March 2021, and their biggest win was 7-0 versus Liechtenstein. 17th place is Denmark, who did it in 56 games, going back to the 28th of March 2021. The same wee batch of games as Italy and Croatia, probably. Denmark, their biggest win was 8-0 versus Moldova. 16th place is Sweden, who did it in 55, going back to the 14th of October 2020, and their biggest win was 6-0 versus Azerbaijan. Also with 55 games was Morocco, going back to the 16th of November 2021, and their biggest win was 7-0 versus Lesotho. Also with 55 was Brazil, going back to the 9th of June 2021, and their biggest win was 7-0 versus Honduras. Thirteenth, also with 55, Belgium. Going back to the 30th of March 2021, and their biggest win was 8-0 versus Belarus. Okay, 12th place, we have Australia, who took 53 games, going back to the 15th of October 2019, and their biggest win was 7-0 versus Bangladesh. And number 11 is South Korea. Who did it in 50 games, going back to the 21st of January 2022, and their biggest win was 7-0 versus Singapore. So now we come on to my top 10. At number 10, Norway. Who did it in also 50 games, going back to the 11th of October 2020, and their biggest win was 9-0 versus Armenia. In 9th place, Iran, who did it in 49 games, going back to the 7th of October 2021, whose biggest win was 6-1 versus Afghanistan. Number 8 is Germany. We did it in 47 games, going back to the 8th of September 2021, and their biggest win was 9-0 versus Liechtenstein. Seventh was England. Who also did it in 47 games, going back to the 12th of October 2021. And their biggest win was 10-0 versus San Marino. In 6th place, also with 47, we have France. Going back to the 13th of November 2021, whose highest goal scoring was 14-0 versus Gibraltar. Okay, top 5. We have Argentina. Who did it after 46 games, going back to the 28th of January 2022. And their biggest win was 7-0 versus Curacao. In 4th place, we have the Netherlands. Who did it in 43 games, going back to the 26th of March 2022, whose biggest win was 8-0 versus Malta. In 3rd place, Spain, who did it in 41 games, going back to the 5th 7-0 against Costa Rica. Amazingly, exactly the same almost. And number 2, we have Portugal. Who did it in 41 games, going back to the 5th of June 2022. But whose biggest win was 9-0 versus Gibraltar. And that leaves us with number 1. Who did it in 29 games, going back to the 15th of June 2023, and their biggest win was 7-0 over China. Do you want to have a guess who it is? The highest cricket scoring team to 100 goals is Japan. When I was looking through their goals, looking through their games, there was a month where they won every game 5-0. So there you go, folks. That's the cricket to 100 goals for international teams. And for the top 10, we have Norway, Iran, Germany, England, France, Argentina, Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, and surprising to top it out, Japan. So, thanks for watching.